Every Christmas, Ethan hosted a private dinner for the 11 women who had once claimed to love him, past lovers, fiancés, and muses from different years of his life. But this year, they all received mysterious letters from him, asking them to meet one last time. The night begins with laughter, awkward smiles, and the scent of pine and wine. But behind every smile hides regret, revenge, and truth. As midnight approaches, the twinkling lights begin to flicker, revealing a darker plan. Because Ethan didn't invite them for forgiveness, he wanted answers. One of them had betrayed him years ago, costing him everything. Now, all 11 hearts are back in the same room, and one secret will destroy them all. Chapter 1. The invitations arrive. Snow fell in slow motion that evening, soft and silent, wrapping the small town in a white hush. It was early December, the season of warm lights, distant laughter, and the scent of cinnamon drifting from every corner cafe. But that year, something strange was in the air. The first invitation arrived at Lena's apartment just after dusk. A red envelope, thick, sealed with golden wax, and marked with the one word in looping cursive. Ethan. Lena froze when she saw the name. It had been 5 years since she had last seen him. The man who once promised her forever, then disappeared without goodbye. Her hands trembled as she opened the letter. To the 11 who once loved me, on Christmas Eve, come to the old Whitmore cabin. One night, one dinner, one truth. There was no signature, no explanation, only a snowflake symbol embossed in gold. Across the city, the same envelope arrived in different hands. Mary Ann, his college sweetheart, received hers while wrapping gifts for her husband and kids. Claire, the ambitious model, got hers delivered backstage before a runway show. Sophia, the quiet nurse who once saved Ethan's life after an accident, found it slipped under her apartment door. 11 women in total. Each one of them had once held Ethan's heart, or thought they did. Lena spent that night staring out the window, replaying old memories she had buried long ago. The way he used to sketch her face when she wasn't looking. The warmth in his voice when he called her my home. But why now? Why after all these years? Her heart told her to ignore it. Her mind told her to throw it away. But curiosity, that cruel, irresistible pull, whispered otherwise. A week later, she packed her bag and drove north toward the mountains. The GPS led her through endless pine forests dusted with snow, the radio playing soft Christmas jazz. By the time she reached the Whitmore cabin, the sun was already sinking behind the trees. The cabin looked exactly like she remembered. Old, elegant, and lonely. Golden light spilled from the windows, flickering like the heartbeat of something alive inside. And there, through the frosted glass, she saw them, other women, faces she half recognized from Ethan's past. Her chest tightened. He had called them all. As she stepped inside, warmth wrapped around her, mingled with tension. The air smelled like pine wood and secrets. Then she heard a familiar voice behind her, deep, calm, hauntingly familiar. "You came," Ethan said. She turned slowly. He stood there in a dark suit, his hair a little longer, his smile unreadable. Her breath caught. He hadn't changed much, just colder somehow, sharper, as if the years had carved something heavy into his soul. "Why did you call us here?" Lena asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Ethan's gaze moved past her to the other women entering the room one by one. He raised his glass, his tone calm but cryptic. "Because, Lena, I finally want to know which one of you destroyed me." The fire crackled. The snow outside grew heavier, and Christmas that year would never feel warm again. Chapter 2. Old faces, old flames. Snow kept falling outside, blanketing the world in silence. But inside the Whitmore cabin, the air was thick with tension. Lena's boots left small puddles on the wooden floor as she stepped deeper into the living room. 11 women stood scattered around, all of them connected by one name, Ethan Whitmore. Each pair of eyes carried its own story: heartbreak, curiosity, fear. The crackling of the fire was the only sound until Ethan finally spoke. "You all remember this place?" he said softly, swirling the wine in his glass. "It was where everything began, and where it all ended for me." Lena looked around, recognizing a few faces. Mary Ann, Ethan's college love, now wearing a diamond ring and a face hardened by regret. Sophia, the nurse, stood near the fireplace, holding her arms tight against her chest, and Claire, in her flawless dress, smirked like she was attending a fashion gala, not a ghostly reunion. "Is this a joke, Ethan?" Claire said, her voice sharp as glass. "You call us all here on Christmas Eve? For what? Some twisted nostalgia?" Ethan set the glass down. "Not nostalgia," he said. "Justice." The word sliced through the air. Justice for what? Lena asked, heart pounding. Ethan's eyes flickered toward her, softer than before. "For the night I almost died." A ripple of shock spread across the room. Ethan stepped toward the fireplace, his voice calm but trembling underneath. 7 years ago, someone betrayed me, someone I trusted. I lost everything, my company, my family name, my sanity. And the person responsible. He glanced at each woman in turn, his voice dropping to a whisper. "He is standing in this room." No one moved. The sound of the wind outside filled the silence. Lena felt her skin prickle. She remembered that night long ago. Ethan had vanished after a mysterious accident, and rumors said he'd gone into hiding. "You think one of us tried to kill you?" Marianne asked, disbelief in her voice. "Not think," Ethan replied. "I know." The lights flickered suddenly. Claire jumped, clutching her glass, and when the power came back, one of the invitations was burning in the fire. The golden wax seal melted into the flames like blood on snow. "This is crazy," Sophia whispered. "We shouldn't be here." But Lena couldn't look away from Ethan. His face was pale, his eyes full of ghosts. "Whoever did it," he said, "wanted me gone before Christmas that year. But I lived, and I've spent every year since waiting for tonight." He turned to the group, his voice low and steady. "You all broke my heart, but one of you tried to end my life. And before midnight, I'll know who." A flash of thunder echoed through the mountains. The women exchanged frightened looks, and as the fire burned higher, Lena realized something terrifying. Ethan wasn't the only one seeking revenge tonight. Chapter 3: The Letter in the Fire. The burning wax sealed more than an envelope. It sealed their fate as the fire devoured the last golden edges. Ethan's gaze darkened. "One of you lit that," he said quietly, "and whoever did already knows I'm close to the truth." No one spoke. The storm outside had grown furious, beating against the cabin windows like angry ghosts. Lena took a step closer to the fire, the warmth biting her skin. Something glimmered among the ashes, a half-burnt corner of parchment. She carefully reached for it with the poker. The words were barely visible, but one line stood out. "If he ever finds out, everything ends." Her stomach tightened. "Ethan," she whispered, "someone tried to destroy this. It mentions you." Ethan approached, eyes narrowing as he read the charred piece. He didn't speak. He only clenched his jaw, the muscles in his face hardening like stone. Behind them, Claire laughed nervously. "You can't be serious. This whole drama? You invited us just to scare us." Ethan turned sharply. "You think this is a game, Claire? You all made me believe in something once. Each of you, love, loyalty, trust, but one of you played me deeper than anyone else." Marianne crossed her arms. "Maybe you deserved it," she muttered. Ethan froze. "What did you say?" Marianne lifted her chin. "You think we're all innocent? You broke hearts, Ethan. You left scars. Maybe karma finally came back for you." For a moment, silence again. Then Ethan gave a small, almost broken smile. "Maybe, but karma doesn't burn letters before I read them." Suddenly, a loud knock echoed through the cabin door. Everyone jumped. Lena's pulse spiked. Who would be out here in this storm? Ethan motioned for everyone to stay still and move toward the door. When he opened it, no one was there. Just the wind howling and a small box sitting on the porch. He brought it in. It was black, tied with crimson ribbon. Inside, a single Polaroid photo.
The image showed Ethan smiling at a party years ago, and behind him, blurred but unmistakable, one of the women in the room, holding a syringe. "That's not possible," Marianne gasped. Ethan's hand trembled as he held the picture. "Oh, it's possible," he said, voice low, "because that was the night I woke up in a hospital with poison in my system." The firelight flickered across his face. "I almost died that night. And now, someone wants me to remember exactly who held the syringe." Claire backed away, shaking her head. "This is insane. Someone's setting us up." But Ethan wasn't looking at her anymore. His eyes were on Lena. She hadn't moved since the photo appeared. "You were there that night, weren't you?" he asked softly. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Yes, but I didn't know what they planned." A gasp rippled through the room. Ethan took a slow step closer. "Then tell me, Lena, who's behind this?" She hesitated, then looked toward the window. "Not who you think. The one pulling the strings." Thunder crashed, drowning her next words. When the lightning flashed, the window shattered and a cold wind swept through. The photo in Ethan's hand fluttered into the flames and burned to ash. Chapter 4: The Poison in the Past. The storm outside raged like it wanted to erase the cabin from the world. Inside, the group huddled in silence. Only the crackle of the fire and the whistle of wind broke the air. Ethan's mind wasn't in the present anymore. It was back to that Christmas Eve, 3 years ago, the night his heart stopped beating for 4 minutes. He remembered the party, the laughter, the champagne, the perfume, her perfume, and then darkness. When he woke up in the hospital, no one had stayed. No letters, no visits. Just an empty bed and the memory of betrayal. Tonight, all those faces stood in front of him again, and one of them had tried to erase the evidence. Lena finally spoke. "It wasn't supposed to happen that way," she said, tears brimming. "We thought it was a prank, something harmless." Ethan laughed bitterly. "Harmless? You call poisoning harmless?" Marianne cut in, pacing near the fire. "You're wrong, Ethan. You were never the target. Someone else was supposed to drink that glass." That froze everyone. "Who?" Ethan demanded. Marianne's voice trembled. "Claire." Claire's eyes went wide. "That's a lie," she shouted. "You're just trying to twist everything." Marianne looked at her coldly. "Then why did you switch the glasses that night?" The tension thickened like smoke. Ethan stared between the two women. Every memory of that night suddenly sharper. He remembered Claire's laughter, the way she leaned close when pouring drinks, whispering, "To new beginnings, Ethan." And then, the bitter aftertaste before his vision blurred. The truth hit him like a strike of thunder. "You did switch them," he said slowly. "You saved yourself and killed me instead." Claire's lip trembled. "I didn't know it was poisoned. I swear I didn't." Lena covered her mouth. "Then who planned it?" No one answered. Outside, the storm roared, but beneath it came another sound. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, circling the cabin. Ethan grabbed the poker from the fireplace, motioning everyone to stay back. He moved to the window, just in time to see a shadow slip between the trees. He stepped closer, heart hammering. In the flash of lightning, he caught a glimpse. A man in a dark coat, wearing a mask shaped like a wolf's face. The masked figure stopped and raised his hand. A small silver locket tangled from his fingers. Ethan's breath caught. That locket belonged to his sister. "No," he whispered. "She died that night." The masked man tilted his head, almost smiling, and disappeared into the storm. Ethan stumbled back inside, pale and shaking. Everyone stared at him. "Who was it?" Marianne asked. "Someone who shouldn't exist," Ethan murmured. "Someone dead." He opened his hand. Ashes from the burned letter still clung to his palm. "And he wants us to finish what we started." The fire sputtered, dimming for the first time since nightfall. The cabin felt smaller, the air heavier, as if the past itself had come alive. And in that flickering half-darkness, Lena whispered the words no one wanted to hear. "And this isn't just revenge, Ethan. It's resurrection."
Chapter 5. The Wolf Behind the Mask. The storm raged until dawn, turning the world white. When Ethan finally opened the cabin door, the snow had buried the path entirely, but there were still footprints, fresh ones, leading away from the window and disappearing into the woods. He stared at them for a long time, then turned to the group inside. "He's been here all night," he said, "watching us." Lena looked pale. "Whoever he is, why would he have your sister's locket?" Ethan's jaw tightened. "That's what I'm going to find out." He pocketed the metal poker, now cold and blackened, and motioned to Marianne. "You said someone was supposed to die that night, not me. Tell me everything." Marianne sat by the fire, her hands trembling. "It was supposed to be a prank," she whispered. "A stupid dare. We thought it'd be funny to scare Claire, make her think she'd been poisoned, then reveal it was just a trick." Lena frowned. "But someone switched the poison for real." "Yes." Marianne nodded. and that someone knew exactly what they were doing. Ethan stared into the fire. Then my sister's death wasn't an accident. Later, as the others argued, Ethan slipped out into the snow. The forest around the cabin was hauntingly quiet, every branch heavy with frost, every breath turning to fog. He followed the footprints. They wound through the trees, circling the cabin like a predator stalking prey, until they stopped at an old sign half buried in snow. It read, "Black Ridge Estate, private property." The letters were carved deep, almost angry. This was where it had happened. The Christmas party 3 years ago. The night everything ended. Ethan's breath caught when he saw something glinting on the snow beneath the sign. A small silver key tied with a red ribbon. He picked it up. A tag hung from it, stained with soot, for the one who never got to leave. Back at the cabin, panic had set in. Claire had vanished. Lena was pacing. She went outside to look for you an hour ago. Ethan's heart dropped. He grabbed a flashlight and ran. The beam sliced through the fog and snow until it landed on something red. A scarf. Claire's scarf. He followed the trail. It led down to a frozen river where the wind howled like a cry. And there, standing on the ice, was Claire. She wasn't alone. The wolf-masked man stood beside her, holding her wrist. When Ethan shouted her name, the man turned and slowly removed the mask. Ethan froze. It was Nathan, his best friend. The man who died that same night. You're dead, Ethan whispered. Nathan smiled faintly. His face was pale, his eyes hollow. So were you, remember? He said quietly. For 4 minutes we both crossed the same place. But only one of us was supposed to come back. Why are you doing this? Ethan demanded. Because the truth never died, Nathan said. And you all buried it under snow and silence. He handed Ethan the locket, his sister's locket. Inside there was no picture, only a folded note. Ethan opened it with shaking fingers. The poison wasn't for Claire. It was for me, Nathan. The wind screamed across the ice. Claire sobbed. Ethan, he's lying! But Ethan wasn't sure anymore. Every piece of his past was unraveling like threads in the storm. Nathan took a step back, his figure blurring in the snow. You all made a choice that night, he said softly. Now it's my turn. The ice beneath them cracked, a sharp splitting sound. Ethan lunged forward, but the river swallowed Nathan's reflection. And then there was only silence. Ethan stood there in the snow, clutching the locket, the key, and a memory that no longer made sense. Behind him, Claire screamed, and from somewhere in the forest came a faint, echoing whisper. 1 heart down. 10 to go! The snow began to fall heavier, covering the footprints, as if the night itself wanted to erase the truth.
Chapter 6. The Secret in the Locket. The storm had passed by morning, but the world it left behind was hollow and white, like a photograph drained of life. Ethan stood at the cabin window, his reflection ghost-like in the frost. The silver key lay on the table beside the locket, both glinting faintly in the pale sunlight. Claire sat wrapped in a blanket near the fire, her face drawn and silent. The others, Marianne and Lena, whispered near the door, too afraid to speak aloud what they all now knew. Nathan was alive, or something worse. horizon was meant for him. Ethan didn't answer right away. His thumb traced the edge of the key. "It doesn't matter who it was meant for," he said. "Someone wanted someone dead that night, and Nathan's the only one who knows who." He opened the locket again. Inside the hidden compartment, beneath Nathan's note, there was a faint etching, numbers carved so finely they were almost invisible. "'Twas Astis, Christmas Eve, the night it all happened." He turned the key in his palm. It had the same engraving. The numbers weren't random, they were coordinates. By afternoon, Ethan and Lena left the cabin, following the trail through the trees. Claire stayed behind with Marianne, still too shaken to move. The forest was eerily quiet, every sound swallowed by snow. After an hour of walking, they reached an abandoned church, half buried in frost. The bell tower was broken, and the stained glass windows shimmered faintly with the glow of the dying sun. Lena shivered. "You think this is it?" Ethan nodded. "The numbers lead here." Inside, the church smelled of dust and ashes. Candles lay melted into puddles of wax. And in the center aisle, an old wooden chest. The key fit perfectly. When Ethan turned it, the lock clicked open with a sound that echoed like a heartbeat. Inside were letters, dozens of them, sealed in envelopes, each marked with a name. Claire, Marianne, Lena, Ethan, Nathan, and more. 11 in total. Each letter was written in the same handwriting, Nathan's. Ethan opened the one with his name first. The ink had bled from age and damp, but the words were still clear. "You think you know what happened that night, Ethan, but you only remember what you were told. Look deeper. Ask her about the red glass." Ethan froze. "Red glass?" Lena frowned. "What does that mean?" Before he could answer, something in the back of the church creaked. A door slowly opening. Marianne stood there, pale and trembling. "I followed you," she said. "Claire, she's gone." Ethan's pulse quickened. "What do you mean, gone?" "She left a note," Marianne whispered. "She said she was going to finish what he started." The group raced back through the forest, but the cabin was empty. The door hung open, and snow had blown inside. Claire's footprints led toward the old train station down the valley. The same one from the night of the party, the same place where Nathan had died. As they followed the trail, the clouds began to darken again. The wind carried a sound like faint music, a Christmas carol playing from nowhere. When they reached the platform, Claire was standing near the tracks, the locket in her hand, eyes fixed on the horizon. "He told me the truth," she said quietly. "He didn't kill anyone, Ethan. We did." Ethan's breath caught. "What are you talking about?" Claire turned. Her eyes were wet but steady. "You don't remember, do you? The drinks, the laughter, the argument. You pushed him, we all did. And when he fell, we let the snow bury the secret." "No," Ethan whispered. "That's not..." But before he could finish, the train whistle screamed through the valley. Claire stepped back, the wind tearing her hair. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "He's waiting." Ethan lunged forward, but she was already gone, swallowed by the storm and the sound of the train rushing by. When it passed, there was nothing. No body, no sound. Only the locket, lying in the snow, open and glowing faintly, showing Nathan's face smiling beneath the shattered glass.
Chapter 7. The Christmas Confession. The snow had stopped falling by morning, leaving the world silent and still like time itself had paused. Ethan sat alone on the train platform, the locket resting in his palm. Its surface was cracked, but inside, Nathan's photograph still smiled, as if frozen in that last haunting moment. He hadn't slept all night. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Claire's face, the sorrow in her eyes, the sound of the train, the whisper of her voice. "We did this." Lena and Marianne found him hours later. Their expressions said everything. There was no trace of her. No footprints, no body, no sound. It was as if the storm had swallowed her whole. "We have to go," Lena said quietly. "The police will start asking questions again." Ethan nodded faintly, but his eyes stayed on the tracks. "She was right," he murmured. "We buried him and our guilt." That evening, the three of them returned to the old church to gather what remained of Nathan's letters. But something strange had happened. The chest was gone. In its place was only one letter sitting on the altar, sealed with red wax. It was addressed to all of them. Ethan tore it open. "I forgive you. But forgiveness doesn't erase the truth. You must tell the world what happened that night, or the snow will never stop falling." And then, below the words, a final line in fresh ink. "Meet me at the house where it began." The three exchanged uneasy glances. There was only one house Nathan could mean. The lake house, where they'd held their Christmas party 7 years ago. When they arrived, the lake was frozen solid. The house dark except for a single flickering light in the living room. Inside, dust covered everything. The furniture, the pictures, the memories. But on the coffee table lay a music box, the same one that had played during that final night. Ethan turned the key, and the box began to play a soft, haunting tune. The melody wound through the air like a ghostly whisper, and as it did, something incredible happened. The projector on the far wall flickered to life. The film began to roll. It was footage from the night of the party laughter. Dancing, champagne, everyone smiling. And then the argument.
Ethan saw himself shouting, Nathan stepping back, Claire crying, and the final moment. The glass of wine slipping from someone's hand, shattering on the floor. Red glass. The image blurred, then froze. Nathan's voice echoed from the projector speaker, soft and broken. "You weren't monsters. You were scared. But I can't rest until the truth is known. Tell them, don't let the snow keep falling." Lena covered her face, sobbing. Marianne backed away toward the door. Ethan stood still, his body trembling, every memory flooding back. The scream, the fall, the silence that followed. He fell to his knees, tears blurring his vision. "I remember," he whispered. "I remember everything." The music box slowed, the melody fading into silence. And then, through the window, Ethan saw Claire standing outside on the frozen lake. Her white coat fluttered in the wind, her eyes calm. No pain, no fear. She smiled once and whispered something he couldn't hear. Then she turned and walked into the mist. The next morning, the snow had melted around the lake, just a ring of thawed water where she'd stood. The music box sat open beside it, still humming faintly. Ethan took the locket and placed it inside the box, whispering, "It's over now." He closed the lid, and as he walked away from the lake, the sun broke through the clouds for the first time in 7 years.